Hello YouTube and welcome back to the channel here today. Today we're going to be watching an amount of episodes of Delicious in Dungeon, Dunmeshy, Dungeon Meshy, whatever you want to say really. And we're pretty happy to be here. So I do have episodes 8 and 9 downloaded. They are ready there to go. It's just a matter of, hey, if episode 8 is something that needs watching. No, hang on. I think they told me that 8 and 9 go together. I think somebody said that. Let me verify that. Hang on. Yes, 8 and 9 go really well together, so we'll be watching both today, just in a similar format to what I've been doing, where we'll watch both back to back and then come back through with a fine-tooth comb and see what we can see. With that in mind, we should get a wriggle on and jump right into those YouTube comments. A couple here from Heath today. Again, the YouTube comments are a Patreon exclusive thing. If you're a patron, you have access to commenting on the videos a week early in a way that I can engage with a little bit of, I don't know, discussion about it, that kind of thing. So if you have something that you're really dying to tell me about upcoming episodes, then hey, Patreon's the way to get me to directly respond to it. I try to go back through the public stuff and reply to the stuff that interests me, but yeah, I can't get to everybody, obviously. Comments. Heath comments here. In most fantasy, hobbits halflings tend to live longer than humans but less than elves. In D&D, they live around 150 years depending on setting, and Tolkien's hobbits live for about 100. Bilbo and Frodo lived longer because of the One Ring. It varies a lot by setting. I don't know if you consider it a spoiler, so I won't say how it works in Dunmeshy. Apparently this will come up later. But from Chilchuck's reaction, you can assume that elves and dwarves are long-lived races, while halfwoods are not. As such, 29 is at least an adult by Chilchuck's standards, but wouldn't even be a kid for dwarves and elves and that kind of thing, according to the other two. They think that he's very, very young, but again, we've got a human on the team as well that they still live a little bit longer than humans, so it's a weird kind of mix there in the party. Again, I think it's been heavily implied, I think from a long way out, that Senchi's been around for a long time, and may have been in the dungeon before the dungeon was discovered 10 years ago, I think we mentioned, so may have some more inklings as to overall world stuff for the castle and that kind of thing, so looking forward to the way the show kind of expresses that, I guess. And yeah, keeping an eye out for more of the Mad Magician stuff, more of the overall castle stuff. Delgal was the guy. Delgal, something like that. So keeping an eye on that king, because I don't think we'd mention him by name in as much detail as we did if it wasn't at least important. So it's being considered, I guess. And yeah, I guess this whole comment here is generally about the scene where Chilchuck is kind of hesitant to share details about himself with the rest of the party. Just, yeah, he's got that real kind of tsundere thing going on. Needs to open up a little bit more to the people around him if he wants to benefit from actually having relationships with people, but a lot of this trepidation is probably based on something at least. Moving on to the next comment here from Heath again. By the way, I said that orcs in Japanese media are often pig-like, but dungeon meshies are unique in them being more boar-like, with specifically the fur going on. Like, it's an iteration on the pig-orc concept, but it's not all that common like other things, right? Most anime orcs, and JRPG ones for that matter, are most like farm pigs, so not really furry, I think. Pigs have fur, like even the farm pigs, they're not like leathery. The fur's just very short. That's the way I understand it anyway. Yeah, I guess it would be a stretch to call them furry, but there is fur there. And yeah, with that, we've closed out the YouTube comments for this week. I have no idea what a two-parter looks like in Dungeon Meshy terms. What does that mean? The only big thing upcoming that I can see that's been well telegraphed is this dragon. So maybe dragon? That seems very early. It seems early to be doing dragon. Maybe a little bit more of a deeper dive into Kaburu and his gang actually meeting our gang? Something like that. That's something that's bubbling away as well. Or, of course, it could be anything. It could be a certain team member gets taken away by some monster and we need to go save him, and it takes 2 episodes to do so. It could be anything, really. I don't even know why I'm predicting. But there'll be food, there'll be monsters, hopefully some more lore details, which I'm actually liking the way the show is uncovering that stuff. I think it's actually pretty cool. So yeah, looking forward to it. But first, got to do that Patreon shout out, of course. So I'll get up the patron list here. I haven't shielded in a while, so yeah, for I think it's $5.99 a month, you can see videos early. Or there's other tiers there. If you just want to support me for $1, you can do that as well. Or if you want to go up to $10, that's available to you as well. But I've got a list of patrons here who've done just that, and they gave me money, and I like money, so that's good. So yeah, thank you to Annie Gregg, Fleur Nightingale, Mickey Babbers, Trails Plus Plus, Adley, Bobbin, Chobo Ribby, Ed, Fruit, Gloriana Tenebrae, Gus N, Heath, Ika, Jaakko Javanen, Jacob R, Joran, Clem, Nosta, Lou, Max, Mish, Nick, Pencil Sharp 333, Ron Lad BNK, Sam 1373, Skeleton, Victoria S, Without a Net, Zach, Binshi, Hans Peter, Kelvin Cawthorn, Marsh, Aidan O'Brien, and Shawk. Thank you very much to everybody. I enjoy your support. Or whatever people normally say, I don't know. And yeah, other show stuff just while I'm here. Discord, you can join the Discord, comment, subscribe, all that other jazz. And yeah, we'll jump into episode 8 of Dungeon Meshi right now. Rightio, I've got episode 8 of Dun Meshi up there ready to go. 24 minutes and 3 seconds, so sync up accordingly with your copy. I'll mention this again in the next episode, but I couldn't find the specific version, but should still be the Netflix stuff and the right audio and all that jazz, so again, I'll mention it for the next episode when it's relevant, but you'll say. Yeah, it just should be normal Netflix stuff for this. Should not be the dub title, should be the subtitle. Should be good. And yeah, picture in picture in the description below. Just going to give it a 3, 2, 1 and jump right in. Radio? 3, 2, 1, go. Give me an opening, please. Thank you. Am I recording? I am. That's always good. I think I said this last week. Yeah, this version looks worse. It's a smaller file too. Maybe I'm fucking up there. Again, what can you do? I could just pull up Netflix and watch it. I do have Netflix. I'm just a bit worried about my internet. It's been cutting out lately. Just been very cool. I'm wondering if this is the kind of show to have 2 openings as well. If that's the case, then we should be not quite on the verge of it, but, you know, getting closer. Love a good opening. Even, yeah, I talked about that kind of hands out clasping each other in one episode. The Fallen one, right? When they made the sorbet. Yeah. And like kind of reaching out for her to reaching towards death, but that's kind of reaching out towards light a little bit more. Yeah. Cool stuff visually going on. Okay. Candle. True. What about it? Feet. Hey yo. Did you oversleep? Could you even hear it through the armor? Yeah. Oh, it's Parasite Boy. Yeah, I remember. He's delirious normally anyway. Kind of. The grand design, you reckon? Ooh. Okay. Oh, school. Little Witch Academia vibes for sure. Oh shit. Is this true? Okay. I thought we were doing a parody thing, but no, this seemingly is at least a little bit serious. I can't imagine this sticks around for long. Spirit breeding? Hey, yo. Okay. Barrier created. I'm filling it with magic. Yeah, I was going to say the same thing. Mm-hmm. They all look about the same, actually, but. And why is she so tall? Okay. It's true. It was kind of terrible. Beneficial monsters is an interesting way to put it, too. Oh, I know you. No! Which is interesting because coming out of it, we have the perspective that Fallen is the most brilliant. I think she might surprise you. I'm happy we're getting this because this has been in the background for sure. Hmm. Farlands may have the most or something, right? How'd you go? Yeah, this shot too's pretty good. Uh-huh. Uh. Holy fuck. I thought you may have seen something like that. Oh, that was great too. No, it's more amazement. I'm happy. I see. Hidden passage into the dungeon. Alright. Sure. That looks really good too. Yeah, I friggin' love the dungeon. And that's why she's always dirty as well. Oh. It's just a raspberry. Is this the dungeon? Because I don't remember a layer like this, but that doesn't mean it's not. I see a roof is my thing. Well, I don't see a roof. Come on. Oh, a lot of hands out. Yeah. Dry ground, you reckon? Really well animated episode for sure. Very pretty. Look at all them spirits. Yeah, dry land, huh? Looks like a slippery rock. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, slacking off. Slacking off. Hmm. Oh, episode 1. Okay. Hmm. Yeah, I wonder. Yeah, beneficial monsters, or whatever she said. To what benefit? Who is that benefiting? We love a good practical excursion. I know. Or Nesan, huh? I guess she is older because elf. Love? To be friends? Yeah, allegedly. There's more to that story based on where she is now. No. Uh, okay, and then you get it from the other perspective. And you never put two and two together. That's funny. Just remember he's delirious as well. Stop blushing. You're giving me ideas. It's a talent. A lot of people pay good money for that. Yeah, get up. Yeah, cool. Didn't expect that from the show at all, basically, based on the first couple episodes. I love shit like that. Two more camps. Gotcha. Mm-hmm. Huh? I want to go bathe myself. I mean, I don't want to. I don't want to be in the same. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, and then flashback again. Interesting. Okay, bye. Brilliant. That's the exact reason why I don't want to be in the room while you're doing that. Is she going to sell her bathwater? No! That's liquid gold! I need that! uh, uh, cursed bathwater. Undine. Sure. Oh, it's sick. This is a fantastic episode animation wise. Fire? You reckon? Oh no, my candle. Marcel, you're on your own. I can't do shit. Okay, she's sick. Alright, how about you, big dog? You feeling better? Okay. She got shot with a sniper rifle? She did get shot with a sniper rifle. Gotcha. Somebody save my friend? Alright. Lyos, it's your time. Jump in and do something. Again, it's the water. He can't go because of the water, but maybe Kensuke can do something? I don't know. Alright, catch your ass. Good. And we got her off the water. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, shit. This episode, huh? Okay. Water ball. Yo. Hell yeah. Where's my cooking? I would like to cook. She also looks terrible. She needs like some food. Great point. Well, I know another group of adventurers. What about it? Iron helps us play. Sure. Whatever you say, we're going to barbecue the liver. Oh my god. Sure. You guys are very, very talented butchers. Imagine waking up and being like, oh, bro, I got Korean barbecue for you. I would cry. That's amazing. Oh, the napkin's great. The little bib. Okay, we'll move up towards the guts. Cause you need the liver. Imagine waking her up. I'm gonna eat first. I understand why, but like, it's funny. Oh, this is funny. Okay, and we're forcing her to eat. Yeah. Oh, it's beautiful. It's yummy. More liver for you. She's gonna snap. Yeah, there we go. Again, yeah, it's good for. How do you how do you get more magic back? Yeah. Are we signaling to somebody that we're here? Yeah. Thought this might happen. Oh wait, no. This isn't who I thought it was. This is not who I thought it was. Oh, interesting. Okay, and then that kind of links in. That's your hook into the next episode where it's kind of a two-parter. Gotcha. That was thoroughly enjoyable. Again, one of the best episodes thus far. Not a lot of dungeon cooking to the dungeon cooking show, but again, that's neither here nor there. I enjoy the backstory stuff, fleshing out a few things that were hinted before in a little bit more detail. I thought the flashback was really well executed. Shows that Farlan is really in touch with the dungeon and everything going on there in a very similar way to Senshi, which I thought was great. And gave some origin points for Marcel, and especially the relationship with Farlan that have now exploded out to the character we see here today. yeah, they're just kind of besties, which is cool. Yeah, kind of a muscle focused episode, so I liked it because she's my favorite. So I'm an easy man to please sometimes. I really am. And looking forward, we have this character which I still don't think is named, the female barbarian, who has happened upon the group again, but obviously doesn't know Senshi, doesn't know the dungeon cooking thing, but may know some magic or be able to replenish Marcel's magic. We'll see. I wonder if kind of samurai guy over there will be in this party too, or he's coming later. I don't know. Either way, jumping into episode 9 right away, and I'll explain a few of the quirks with regards to the subbing. Yeah. Rightio, so I have episode 9 up there ready to go, and what I'll do is I'll pop over here to the analysis window, which I call it that. Nobody else calls it that. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Subtracks. I'm using 4 Japanese audio with this version. I downloaded the I think it's called like Copium or something, which is funny. It should just be Netflix. This says 4 Japanese audio. Checking my audio over here, that it is in fact Japanese. Should work perfectly. Should be very similar to what we've had thus far. If it is translated different for some reason, I'll endeavor to get the Netflix subs for the analysis portion at least, so we can have a look through consistently with what I've been looking at. But either way, I can't watch it like that. I need to watch it like this. Otherwise, YouTube will gun me down like the dog I am. Picture in picture, same old shit. Let's jump right in. 26 minutes, 32 seconds. I don't know if I said that. But yeah, let's give it a 3, 2, 1. Radio. 3, 2, 1, go. Okay. Picture quality is a little bit better. I'll say that. I'll say it's a little bit better. I'm recording. Always good. And we're still to see on the subs, but I'd imagine fine. I think I said it last week as well. I would absolutely monster this show, like non-stop binge it if I could. I think that's different to other things I'm doing on the channel. I don't think I would want to binge as much Utena or Hibike Euphonium, just different kinds of shows. But this speaks to me in a way where I just want to watch every second of it right away. Oh, Dog Guy's in the opening too? Hell yeah. Where again, like Utena and Hibike Euphonium, they're a little bit more take it in, especially Utena these days. Jesus Christ, it's dense, if I can speak. But yeah, this is just like warm hug show. I like it. Indeed. Okay, we're cooking up a storm, but we still need to replenish your magic. Oh, my rogue senses are tingling. Okay, Namori. There we go. It's only been a week? Feels like it's been 3 months. Okay, 2 old fox. Sounds good. Kaka and Kiki. I can remember that. My money. My eternal gratitude. Alright, you guys are dumb bitches. And you're conflicted. Gotcha. I'm underestimating you. I hope you get, like, killed. You're gonna get your shit pushed in. What the fuck? Are we serious? She got cooked. Okay, no, the wrong person got their shit pushed in. Oh no. Alright, saved. But it's only because I can heal you. Interesting. We'll talk about that. Or I'm sure the show will talk about it as well. But it shouldn't be. Oh, well, that's sounds like purgatory. That's pretty bad. Again, very video gamey. Sure. It's worth a go. And we need her healed anyway. Hmm. And that's a different creepy sword. No. A little bit. That's okay, you did just get shot in the head. Okay, my Frodo sword is going crazy. There is danger. It's kind of the one thing he does. Oh no, I'm getting like giant spider vibes. Close. They got our ass. I don't know what that word is. Sure. I'm not taking my fucking helmet off. What does he... Oh! Look at him without the helmet! Yo! He's the most sexy man. It's like when Kenny on South Park took off his fucking hoodie. Crazy moment. Saved? Shoot your shot. Did we do it? We did it! Alright, heal her paralysis, I guess. What a hero. What's wrong with his face? Yeah, he looks fucked. It is the only spot that wasn't covered. uh, how can you even read? Okay. Oh, Dungeon Banana. Awesome. Well, he's gonna eat it. I don't want to take a bite of somebody else's Dungeon Banana. I'm still fucking dying. Don't just feed me random stuff. No. Be ingratiated into the group. Do it. Alright, my hand's still fucked. Alright, so did we discover anything? Did we do what we wanted? No, man? She's so back. Seemed like an okay shot. She just kind of shot it, and it worked. What is this tone? Yeah. Tension. Is he getting better? His eyes look better. I don't know if I'd call him the leader. Bro is still camping. Bathwater? Yo, even Senchi's agreeing. That's crazy. Okay, and it'll be nice again. What do you mean return spell? What? I don't think that this is going to happen. Not quite. Yeah. And how you gotta walk on water, bud. I would roll the dragon. What do you know? Pay up. Seems arbitrary, but sure. I don't even know who any of these blokes in the background is. I still don't believe you're going back to the surface, so something's gonna happen. Oh, you'll drink it? Oh my god. Also, how are you gonna catch it? Yeah, just replay that cut as much as you want. It looks amazing. Oh, don't cook my boy. That's pretty bad too, yeah. Use that big brain of yours. Yeah. Oh my god, this is Teflon. Because it cooks well. One on each side, I guess. Sure. We'll get his ass, don't you worry. Or you're gonna help maybe as well. Namari? Uh, uh. Oh yeah. Okay, if you want to outstrength it, then sure. I want to see some like cool reflect tech, like using the inside of the bowl to reflect shit. Okay, that'll work. 2 tanks, 2 chads. Yeah, cookies ass. Slowing up, I think, a little bit. Yeah. Alright, chat room, we won. Laos didn't do anything. He's a lanklet? Oh no. Alright, time to drink. Hopefully it isn't too hot. Fucking drinking boiling water? What does it taste like? Describe its taste. A bit of a hot pot again, okay. Again, I'm sure everyone's noticed the difference here. Instead of Senshi describing the recipe, we have Marcel describing it. Maybe talks to a change in her character and a change in priorities. Thank you for the stew. Yeah, because you fucking saved their ass. Wait, there's more tentacles? That's funny. How could you say no to that? Be serious. Eat the dungeon food, it'll make you strong as fuck. As fertile as ever. Yeah, but it's good. Eat it. Epic pot. Old friends, you say. Tell me more. How old? Have a bit, you old fuck. Alright. Yeah, that's very similar to the orc stuff and how we ended that. Sharing a meal together. Sun Sun. He's just sunning everywhere. Yeah, where is bro? Me neither. So we'll probably find it was Shuro. We're probably gonna find Shuro at some point. Alright, okay, bye. We will meet again, I'm sure of it. Okay, bye. Weird. Weird episode. But it was good. It gave us more insight into Marcel. This is a real turning point for her, this kind of 2-episode arc. And I like how the backstory with Farland informs a lot of it, right? So she's so in tune with the dungeon and the ecosystem of the dungeon and not messing with anything, much like Senshi and his philosophy when it comes to dungeon food. So Marcel, in an effort to get her magic back in order to save Farland, relying on dungeon food builds meaning in a really cool way. That's, yeah, it's good writing, right? What else happened? It was funny. I liked Namori getting shot in the head. I thought it was humorous, as well as some good lore for the pot. We love that. Um, what else even happened? There was tentacles, I guess. His sword came clutch again. My good friend Kensuke, who I'm sure isn't suspect at all. But you know, it was an episode. I probably prefer 8, but yeah, it was good. If anything, we saw was that this episode? Yeah, we saw Senshi without a helmet on. That's the highlight of the day. So yeah, a little bit of analysis on episodes 8 and 9, of course, coming right up. So yeah, episodes 8 and 9 of Delicious in Dungeon in the bag. In what I would call a faux two-parter, we are in the same area, dealing with the same general monster the entire time, so and I guess we link in a lot of Marcel's stuff. It seems like, again, it's a real turning point for her and her character overall, kind of moving away from traditional methods and moving more towards dungeon food and everything that represents. And yeah, reaping the rewards of doing so. And the story is told in a pretty good order here to get this point across. We establish the Fallen connection early, and then we follow that through with all of our actions, right? A lot of self-sacrifice involved, and ultimately coming out successful because of embracing this new kind of philosophy. I think, yeah, it's a good moral overall for the character. Lots of gags, lots of laughs. Episode 8 in particular, which is the one I have up now, had some really brilliant animation, some really Trigger-esque cuts, a lot of characterful stuff, which I'm fond of, cartoony, exaggerated, all the stuff that makes their productions really pop off. So I'm happy to see it. I'm happy to see it return. I did want to look up some production stuff, so maybe I'll do that briefly. Maybe just direct a storyboarder, animator. I'll be back. What do we have here? This is storyboards, episode 8. I'm looking for episode 8. Yuki Yonemori. Okay. There's a lot of good stuff here. A lot of trigger, obviously, which is always good. That's an animator's delight, for sure. Akebi's sailor uniform, or sailor girl's uniform I've seen as well. Bocce the Rock's opening also has fantastic animation, as does Carol and Tuesdays. Definitely got this really fluid style to it that I can kind of see in this episode as well. Not that, again, the storyboard is doing much animation, but you know what I mean. Oh, they are animating these, though. It is key animation. Episode 5 of Season 2 of Mob Psycho 100 is popping off in my head as a good one as well, I think. So sure. Don't get me started on Wonder Egg Priority, but it is also a very good or very well animated show. Just everything else, again, don't get me started. Who else we got here? Who directed this bitch? Nanami Higuchi, which I think I looked up before. Yeah, okay. Script for Beastars, which is a weird one. But yeah, obviously pretty involved in lots of stuff. Or maybe this is the writer. Was this the writer? That makes more sense. Yes. Okay, sure. Episode director. That's who I'm looking for. Yuichi Shimamura. Was it? Shimohira. Sorry, I can't read. Again, just a ton of trigger. Sure. Yeah, it's very well directed and animated. It's a cool episode. So shoutouts to the production staff overall. Very well done. But I better dive into this thing because I'm a little bit short on time, so yeah, we'll be pausing on shit and talking about it. The episode starts here with Marcel waking from a nightmare. She immediately wants to check on Laios to see if he's still alive, puts her head on the armor to hear no heartbeat, but of course you're not going to hear a heartbeat through armor. That's kind of ridiculous. Of course, the link here being that, hey, he had the food poisoning, I think we're calling it, from last episode. Kind of ate the parasite. He ate the wrong thing, and now it was tearing a hole in his stomach. So Laios is still recovering, I guess. And yeah, we're straight into it. More talk about food chains and stuff. Straight off of episode 7, which was all about it, incorporating these creatures, which we saw in such an episode, right? The dungeon as a whole takes into account that people are going to come into the dungeon, and that is used in the general ecosystem of it all, which is cool. Again, think about if we stopped. If we stopped for a moment, the monsters would keep coming up out of the dungeon, right? And then people would be hired to dispose of them and then push back further in again. It's a balance, yin and yang, push and pull to it all. Again, which talks to the major philosophy of the entire, I guess, series, that we all have a place in the world, and, you know, the world is bigger than us. We are small cogs in it, and we should not think we're above it, that kind of thing. We'll talk about that when we talk about Resurrection a little bit later on as well. Either way, talking about the design of the dungeon overall and how good it is gets Marcel a little bit nostalgic, and she starts talking about her time in school when she was studying such a thing. Now, originally, I thought we were going a full-on comedic route. I thought we were going to pan over to Marcel in her own memory of her time in high school, and she was going to be this like super popular mysterious student, maybe an art style change, something like that. But instead we go for something a little bit more straightforward. Again, I thought it was going to talk to a little bit of Marcel's ego, talking herself up, but not the direction we went. Instead, this is full-on Little Witch Academia vibes, for sure, which is great. And again, the staff connection there is pretty cool. We got a lot of exposition from the crowd of students. She's an exceptional mage. She came from the graduate something. She's very good. She's on her track to being a very important mage in the world. Top of her class, top student, all that kind of jazz. And this is an interesting tidbit as well, just teasing for future stuff, I'm sure. My parent used to be one, used to be a court mage. Now, we have seen one of her parents before. It was the mother in a dream sequence in episode 2, I'm sure of it. But I'm not sure if that was the court mage parent or it's the other parent. I don't know. Oh, I asked the teacher to let me join the class today. She isn't normally from this school. Oh, gotcha. So yeah, she's come out of some kind of university, but she's an elf. Gotcha. Okay. So I'm like, she looks kind of similar to everybody else. She's very tall, but elves are very tall. I was wondering if she was a student. No, she's a teacher's assistant, just kind of moving up out of that. Anyway, I'm getting my timeline all mixed up because elves are weird. So this is the teacher in question. She seems kind of nice, got some gnome-like features, which will become, I guess, more relevant as we continue. I don't know if that means anything, but gnomes exist in this world, I guess is what I'm trying to say. We're going to do a spirit breeding experiment, which sounds way more nasty than it actually is. Essentially, we're building some kind of like little terrarium ant farm type thing for spirits. Sure, sounds like something you would do if you're combining a biology course with a magic course. Sounds perfect. As soon as I saw them putting layers in the jar like this, I couldn't help but think of the layers of the dungeon, and the show makes that very obvious that that's the connection it's making. This is the habitat of spirits. Create the barrier, put the spirits in it, and let them kind of have this little science jar to live in. Breeding spirits is the foundation of summoning magic because its structure resembles a dungeon that houses monsters. It's referred as a dungeonium. Sure. I don't get how it's the basis of summoning, though, and I wonder if that'll come up. Okay, so we talk about summoning magic here, right? It isn't her area of expertise, but it is overall involved in researching how to create a safe dungeon, right? Right now, she's focused on the ingredients of magic. Right now, she's thinking about how we kind of gather mandrakes and how that's quite dangerous and fucking kills dogs. Poor dog. And this is the important line, right? So I'm trying to map out the dungeon, kind of think about its design. If I can design a safe dungeon with beneficial monsters inside, only beneficial monsters, then we won't need to worry about any of this stuff. Hence why summoning is important, because then the summoning would link into creating only beneficial monsters. Essentially farming and structured farming and that kind of thing of the dungeon. Because again, we've seen with the food, there is benefits to be had there, right? But like... it also goes completely against the philosophy of the series. And then we cut back to Marcille in the current day when she's amazed at the breadth and the kind of design of the dungeon that's already there without the kind of human or elf interference, right? It's just balances itself out. There was no need for me to think and play God and try to rectify things in that way. So again, we have the masses over here, right, in the dark, fawning over Marcille's creation here, and then we have Farlan over here walking into the light. A different way of thinking, a different philosophy that we will now follow from now. And yeah, kind of this episode and next episode and its events being the turning point of Marcille finally going over to this side. Something that I'm sure Farlan and Senshi will get on like a house on fire. They've got very similar philosophies, right? Marcille takes a quick look at Farlan's little creation here and says that it's got a ton of impurities inside, right? It isn't pure. It isn't a purely beneficial dungeon that's been created, right? All the science, all the everything that's pointing to it says that it shouldn't work. There's also, I guess you would call it undertones of Farlan being bullied in school for the way that she is, right? She doesn't really have any mates, and she's going off into the dungeon by herself quite a bit. So, like, people don't really respect that. Yeah, like, Farlan brushed you, and you must be dirty because of that. Not pure like us. And again, you can read into that however you will. But then when push comes to shove, we have this slow zooming shot on Farlan and her creation, putting importance on it, but also the shot itself giving a real, like, matter-of-fact view to the scene. She's just doing what she would normally do anyway. Again, a lot of the framing in the show makes Farlan seem mega-giga important, and that's done a lot through filmic technique. It's pretty impressive. We haven't been told that she's important yet, but she's very important, I'm feeling, to the overall overarching world of the show. That's what I'm feeling. Lo and behold, as everybody could have predicted, you put the kind of fire over the spirits, and if there's a lot of spirits, then the flame will grow. Well, there's a metric fuck ton of spirits, right? Because it's literally from the dungeon, and yeah, explodes in almost like a phoenix-like shape, which is kind of cool. If you wanted to squint, you could be like, the fire here is like the fire of the dragon that has now consumed her, so a link, I guess, sure. Of course, this is enough to get Marcille's attention and wants to know Farlan's secrets. And Marcille, after being pressured, reveals her secrets here. The jar was actually dungeon dirt from inside the real dungeon. Maybe not the real dungeon, but a real dungeon? Do you get me? Because 10 years? 10 years? Does 10 years fit? I don't think 10 years fits. So maybe this isn't the dungeon. This is a dungeon. Again, a lot of imagery of moving towards the light that we see. Like a lot of, again, scary ass notwithstanding. This kind of stuff, right? Like moving towards the light, out of the darkness, a whole new world in front of us, that kind of thing. That's another amazing cut. Oh my god. Again, VLC behave. There we go. Look at that run. Yeah, brilliant stuff. Again, building immediate contrast. Comfortable, uncomfortable, something we'll see grow throughout the scene. More and more imagery to the same effect. Farlan happily jumping over the stones and that kind of thing, whilst Marcille stays behind. You just said that she's the one that's lagging behind, but you're the one that's lagging behind here. This is her arena, where academia is yours. She may not fit to one standard that you're giving to her, but she fits another. It also explains earlier when the student said that she was always dirty. This is why she's out in the dungeon, you know? And we emphasize it here even more. She loves the fucking grasshoppers. She loves the raspberries. Where Marcel is tentative. Don't eat that shit. It could be dangerous. Now, this makes less sense on Marcel's part. I was kind of with her initially because if this was the dungeon, then yeah, don't just eat random shit. You'll end up like Laios is at the moment with a sore stomach. But if this is just literally like the woods, then it should just be fine. You would think it would be fine. We finally get to something actually resembling a dungeon here. We've got a cave that we're going to go inside. This is like kind of extrapolating out on a lot of what we've seen very early in the show. Don't trust the books. Go out there and do some field study and see how it actually works firsthand. There's nothing that can replace that experience. And yeah, this is it coming through in a way more direct form here. Again, great student, academic, prodigy, going to be a court mage, that kind of thing, right? Versus person that's always out in the field, always doing things their own way, blah, 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 way more freeform, way more natural. And Marcel proved wrong at basically every turn in this episode, or in this particular flashback anyway. And again, only upon, in the 2-episode arc that we just saw, upon embracing the dungeon and its ecosystem and dungeon food in general, is she able to actually continue. I mentioned in the opening of the first episode I watched here today, there's a lot of symbolism of Farlan holding out her hand to somebody and pulling them along. More fuel to the fire here. This is Marcel's first step into a real dungeon. I've got my hand out ready for you, and as long as you stay on the dry ground, you'll be okay. Just, yeah, pulling me forward, pulling me into this world, pulling me into this thing which I'm currently in the current timeline. If you can't catch my drift, it's a very, very well executed flashback. It does basically everything you want it to do. It backfills in a way that naturally makes sense and builds on what has been hinted at before. That, as well as being gorgeously animated, what else do you really want? Farlan here notes that she often just comes here to chillax, like she'll just be writing notes or something in here, writing stories, that kind of thing. It's kind of her happy place, just in the dungeon like this, right? Marcel goes straight to the textbook. She looks around, she's like, well, it seems safe, right? And then, hold on, maybe I can use this place for my research? If I cultivate this place and plant mandrakes, if I do traditional farming here, which is something that the show continues to say no to, I'll be able to use the magic safely. It'll be great for my research. It'll be great for learning things, all that kind of thing. And then we can codify it, and then we can spread it out, and then we can fucking gentrify the fuck out of the dungeon. I don't know. Like, it's clearly the wrong tack to take, and, you know, if Farlan wasn't here, Marcel would arguably have fallen victim to the slime that's right here in the corner. A very, very direct line here upon the slime rearing its ugly head. We should burn all monsters, she said. And time again, Farlan holds onto her staff. Like, it's not going to hurt you, it won't venture into the sunlit area. It's in its own habitat, it's doing its own thing here. Why take it out just because it's here and dangerous and that kind of thing, right? And then immediately talks to its link into the kind of ecosystem of the area. The slimes break down the bat droppings and convert them into magic. You wouldn't have got the result that I got in the jar if not for this process occurring. If you take a piece out of the ecosystem, out of the chain, everything starts to break and you just get a dungeon full of bat poo. And nobody really wants that. Yeah, and it's being framed as this really revealing moment for Marcel, looking up, looking above her, scanning the actual place, instead of just blindly attacking what she sees. Broaden your horizons, that kind of thing, you know? And upon actually trying the raspberries, they're really good. If they taste this good, I'm sure that other animals eat them too. I'm part of the system now. I'm taking the same food that the animals would eat. I'm living in nature. And then gets more questions. Well, if the bats are here, what do the bats eat? When do the raspberries bear fruit? And thinks that, hey, if I still want to design a dungeon in the end, which for the record, I still think that's a bad idea, I need to start asking more questions. I need to start looking around me. Even looking towards the ceiling, towards the light in this particular dungeon to see more things. And this little interaction with Farlan has let her know that she doesn't know anything, really. It's told her that she's stupid and needs to focus on different things if she wants to make her kind of world a reality. And again, progression. We hear Marcel here. She essentially says, I want to farm the dungeon. Into the end of the second episode we saw today, where she is relying basically entirely on not farming and actually foraging and only taking what she needs and that kind of thing. Like, it's just a movement from A to B that's satisfying. Very, very cool. Character writing isn't that hard. It really isn't. And yeah, this is a very good example of it. Am I wrong to say that there's kind of vibes here? Am I wrong? Anyway, sure. We have Chilchuck and said she listening to the story the entire time. Chilchuck taking it back to fucking point A when it's like, you are the most brilliant student in the history of the school. I don't agree. I really like how this visual here matches what Marcel is saying, right? Well, now that I'm in the dungeon and have experienced this dungeon in a lot more detail, right? Like the biggest dungeon we've seen, the lunatic magician's creation, right? It's mind-boggling. It's so far out of the scope of my initial research that I cannot possibly fathom it, right? If this lunatic magician actually exists, he's far from being sane. And we get this kind of spiral pattern in the dungeon, which kind of builds off that insanity, right? But also, isn't he kind of simultaneously really sane as well? Because, like, he made this, at least parts of it, almost taking on a godlike role in doing so. The visual of the spiral staircase in the dungeon in the current time is also a great contrast to the dungeon we just saw before. The roof of the dungeon, right, that we were in the flashback, is circular. It is one circle, it is one layer, and you can easily see to the very top from the very bottom. It's simple relative to the spiral, the crazy spiral with all the different branches coming off of it, which we just saw. I also wanted to highlight the shape of the circle here and kind of almost the circle of life being kind of pulled upon here, right? As a kind of frame of reference for what we're talking about. Like, yeah, this dungeon here, this one that I have on screen right here, right now, it's a great example of everything working correctly. Where the Mad Magician's dungeon is a spiral. It is descending rapidly. It doesn't have any end to it. There's no light at the end of the tunnel, which probably speaks to some ethical angle about what occurred there as well, in probably an unsavory way. So yeah, just a nice little geometric shape analysis too. Very cool. I do like Marcel kind of hitting on this, I guess, contradiction in Senshi's mindsets. Like, you hate magic. This place is teeming with magic. What the hell are you doing here? And he's like, I refuse to answer. No comment though. Again, this is the place he's chosen. There's no contradiction there, I don't think, really. Laios kind of wakes up and he'd been listening for a little bit, and he realizes that, I guess, the letters that he got from Farlin were actually describing Marcel the entire time. She made a friend she was enjoying every day. She said, you're an amazing person. Oh my god, isn't that nice? And again, blush, 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 blush. What does this mean? You can figure it out on your own if you want to. And yeah, we try to reciprocate by saying that, hey, Farlin talked about you as well, but what was she actually talking about the entire time? Really chuffed that he's good at imitating a dog. Not exactly the same things, or the same weight of things that Farlin said about Marcel. Upon thinking about all of this and this kind of inspiring message to it all, Marcel's ready to dive deeper and go save her, right? She's feeling motivated, which is sick. So we have a little bit of a timeline going on here as well as we move into the second segment. The orc said that the dragon was around here, which is about 2 days away from where we are. So we can theoretically think, hey, once we start moving again, it's going to be 2 more camps and we'll probably end up seeing the dragon. We mentioned that our next break is probably going to be a little bit away, and Marcel wants to wipe herself down. And of course, if she wants to do that, the boys want to not be here anymore for pretty obvious reasons. If you're bathing, I don't want to be in the same room. And apparently they don't need to leave, I can do it clothed. Which would still make me uncomfortable for the record, but you know. I guess the important part here is when Marcel says, hey, it was easier when half of us were girls. Now she's the only girl. Because we're talking about Namari here, as well as Farlin, who have exited the party. And yeah, we have Shuro and Namari walking away, having not been paid. Makes them seem like a little bit like mercs, but we play off of that in the next episode when we actually meet Namari again. I'm interested to see Shuro's motivation, considering we're implying that he had a romantic connection to Farlin. So, like, wouldn't it make more sense to stick together rather than the money? Or maybe he just thought he could do better on his own. And yeah, fantastic joke here as these two are sitting quietly alone in the corner, just letting her do her thing, and then they hear the slap, and they're like, what the fuck is she doing over there? Yeah, just great joke. Obviously, Marcel just getting at her frustration at the circumstance and that linking into what happens at the end, but good joke, good funny. Now, this is very plot relevant. We have the boiling water, right? The boiling bath water, the liquid gold, as I said, which we tip right into the lake. Just a bunch of boiling water. Now, of course, the lake itself was a Undine, I think we're calling it. Undine, there you go. Which immediately presents problems, and yeah, a lot of the animation comes through in this segment in a very cool way. I'm probably not going to pause and everything, but just know that it looks fantastic. Oh, even the framing there is fucking awesome. These two go to check what's going on, and then kind of we fade off of, or we focus out of the background onto the foreground where the Undine is kind of doing its thing again. The cartoonish, exaggerated style comes through in a lot of the like the characters don't stay on model in a very cool way. I think yeah, we play with it in a really fun way. I didn't feel until certain portions I did when there was a little bit more tension to it. But like the action scene itself took on a little bit of a more comedic tone, I guess. Yeah, the action here is quite fantastic actually. The kind of jump shot there from Marcel, right? Out of here into that. Yeah, very, very cool. And then it gets a little bit ominous, right? After we take out that one portion, it's like, oh shit, now what? And you get the feeling that something bad is actually going to happen. Everybody's here watching. And yeah, nobody can come through and help her anymore because they don't have the water walk effects. And lo and behold, she fucking gets shot in the leg out of the water. To me, it looked like it was coming from up here. No, in fact, it was coming from below. Yeah, just a really impressive segment, man. I really don't want to keep pausing and just saying the animation's really good, but it is. Either way, like, things are looking dire. As I've always said with this show, as soon as you see blood, you know that shit's getting serious. We see blood, shit's getting serious. Nice little bit of characterization here for Senshi as well, as he's really, really struggling to get this fire started. Of course, fire being the thing's weakness, which doesn't make sense to me with how water-based it is, but I digress. There's also the stuff with the candle. We wasted the candle last night that we can't use now. She's really struggling, hyperventilating, really gives us like kind of a personal edge to this kind of predicament that she's in right now. Like the harsh cuts to black here in the edit, as she's struggling to think what to do next, right? She notices that the Undine is colored red with the blood of with her blood, which is kind of crazy, and notices where it is and plans a little bit of a trap, blasting it out of the water, which was right under her, which throws her up in the air in turn, to where Laios needs to catch her and almost falls into the drink as a result, which would be really bad considering he's wearing like full armor. Look at this in the background, you can see a very red Senshi and Chilchuck. I don't know about Chilchuck being the anchor here, but you know. But yeah, really, really fun frame. You can imagine this is like a manga panel as well. Almost some Fully Cooley vibes off some of this as well. Yeah, it's some really, really cool animation work. This one's the cut which we reused in the next episode because it is fantastic. Just, it's perfect for the tone of the show that we're doing. It's goofy, it's endearing, it's charming, but it's all too skillful as well. There's just so much going on there. Either way, we cut out of there. We're in relative safety at the moment. I guess we're out of the Undine's territory. And Marcel looks fucking terrible. Dark bags under the eyes, very pale. The ears even kind of drooping down, hair disheveled. She's low on magic, low on blood. She needs something to get her going. Chilchuck, being always the pragmatist here, mentions that, hey, we can't really continue if we have a mage that's out of magic. We need to water walk to even get out of here. And like, I mean, she's still like our friend. We got to make sure that she's better. If we can't heal her, what are we going to do? Laios' answer here, I think, is to wait for other adventurers to come by, which I guess puts it in my head. I thought it was going to be Kaburu and the gang. I didn't think it was going to be Namari, but again, I was incorrect there. The next best thing, at least to get her blood back up, would be a bit of food, right? We need some particularly nutritious food, but all we have left is the meat of the Kelpie, which was butchered by yours truly. Specifically, we're going to feed her the liver. Now, the joke of the scene, chat room, is that liver is not a particularly tasty piece of meat, but is very nutritious. So we're going to eat all the tasty parts while we leave all the nutritious parts for Marcel, but she gets her personality back in the very end and asks for the tasty parts instead. I was wondering when the dungeon cooking element was going to come into the dungeon cooking show, and lo and behold, here it is. The meat itself looks glorious too. It makes me very, very hungry. Love this POV shot of Marcel waking up and seeing a bit of barbecue ready for her. We're going to sit her down here. I really like the seat made out of the bags as well, so she doesn't have to hold her own weight. And of course, the really wonderful touch there of the bib as well. Just kind of, we made a feast for you. Get ready to hook in. However, the jokes start here. We've set her up, we've got her bib on, but I'll be the one eating first because your animal guts are still cooking. I've got the really yummy round meat here ready to go. Yeah, look at her face. She's like, what the fuck? Are you serious? Well, that's a crazy question too. Does it taste more like horse or marine animal? Does it taste like fish or horse? That's crazy. Yeah, then we have Joker going burr. Really good framing here, very manga-esque, where it would be, here's the next tasty bit of meat. We're enjoying it and saying it that it's good. Hey, Marcel, have more liver, haha. And yeah, build up of tension, build up, zoom, zoom, zoom. Always with those stings in the music as well, which is awesome. Into the explosion of energy where she wants to eat the actual tasty parts of the animal as well. But it means that she's feeling better. It's good. Now, give us some damn meat. A little bit of a preview into the next episode here with hoping for a meat that could replenish magic. We have something even better in store. Of course, we're talking about spirits and magic and that kind of thing early in this episode as well, which links into the next one. Either way, we're hoping for a solution, and then the kind of smoke's billowing up. Smells like they're cooking meat down there. And yeah, we see a party that is going to happen upon our party, with the character of Namari appearing, being the teaser for the next episode, asking who cooks meat in a place like this, which is a good hook into the next episode, which I'll bring up now. Into the next episode now, and we have this new party happening upon our heroes, hoping that they're not criminals down there, but then panning the head down, hearing the voice. Oh my god, it's fucking Laios. I know that guy. Yeah, former party members, huh? But of course there's some tension. You're the one that quit our group. We would have happily kept you. And the craziest part there is she says, oh, it's only been a week since we haven't seen each other. It feels like dead ass. It feels like months. It feels like months. But yeah, that's just not the case. We introduce us to the rest of the crew that Namari has been chilling with. We've got the Tansus here. She seems fine. This guy's a bit of a fuck up, but you know, it's neither here nor there. He comes good in the end. And then we have the twins, Kaka and Kiki, who I'm not sure even have lines, but you know, they seem cool. Yeah, these guys in particular, I hate fucking old people, so they were already, you know, they already had a steep hill to climb for me to like them, and they certainly did not climb it. We built up very early in the episode a bit of a tension building between Marcel and Namari here, based on abandoning Fallen. Abandon, I simply refuse to walk into the jaws of death for free, which I see both sides, right? Namari seeing this as a little bit of just a job, just a thing that you would do, not wanting to do something that on the surface isn't possible, like defeat a dragon for no pay, like that's kind of crazy. But obviously now we've seen the other side. We see how much Marcel likes Fallen and respects Fallen, and is disappointed in herself that she couldn't help more in saving her and that kind of thing. So again, clashing. Two philosophies here brought head to head. You know, good character conflict. Nice. Laios immediately gets the plot talking. Hey, do you guys have a healer? We need a healer. But again, in the same way, kind of mirroring Namari's merc-type personality, we have the Tansus over there that said, why should we heal this person? Why for free? Handing out charity in a dungeon just sets you up to be taken advantage of. Again, I get it. But again, you just have the capacity to help. Why wouldn't you help? Some good character stuff here. Reminds me a lot of Hibike Euphonium, which I'm watching at the moment, where you always watch the eyes, right? Pan the eyes down there. Marcel, bit of concern, but ultimately, no, I have to keep moving forward because they're going to pay me. Now, these fuckers look really smug, and I like what happens next. So there's an Dine in the next room. We'll sort it out. Don't underestimate us gnomes. We've been living alongside gods and spirits since ancient times. This will be perfect. Just big boomer energy, not understanding anything and just thinking that it'll be okay. Of course, I'm going to walk in and I'm going to recite a prayer at it. It's going to fucking try to shoot me. This isn't working. Hey, meat shield, get in front of me and get fucking domed. Which is craziness. And yeah, it didn't work. Oh my god, Namari got domed. And yeah, these two are crazy too, because they run in and just save the oldies instead of, you know, the one that got shot in the head. As it turns out, Gnome Boy here knows some resurrection magic, and we kind of reverse what just happened, right? And we have Senshi here, right? After witnessing that resurrection, it's a magic I especially can't bring myself to like. Now, there's probably more to this, but I think it just kind of already fits the philosophy, right? It's like I'm at an unfair advantage against the ecosystem which I'm participating in. It's essentially playing God. It's the most obvious example of playing God. One of the major things about humanity that unites us all is that we'll all die one day, and you get one shot at this, and all that kind of stuff, right? When you lose that, you lose your humanity, or at least some of it. And Senshi knows that. Senshi speaks to that. The rest of the monsters out here, they don't get a second chance, like we get a second chance based on this type of magic. That's, yeah, it puts us above the food chain in a way that doesn't fit his ethos, and really emphasizes that it's not normal. It's the opposite of normal, right? Just, yeah, even by name, Laios, this is not normal. You shouldn't think that this is normal. And then we get a little bit more lore here, right? This dungeon itself is under a very powerful enchantment. You could almost call it a curse. It binds your soul to your body. No matter how damaged your body gets, your soul is never released, which in itself sounds kind of like purgatory. Now, this is just a great background as well. I love the storytelling here. So we had some kind of castle, right? Water started seeping in from above, growing vegetation and that kind of thing, and we can see the water seeping out the other side as well. Just kind of like a pool in the middle of two waterfalls, something you would see in nature being kind of applied to something man-made. Very, very evocative. I really like this area overall for that reason. I see it as almost like a video game mechanic thing as well. Like, you'd never really die. There's no like permadeath in these kind of dungeon-esque, dungeon diving video games. You just go back to a save point, that kind of vibe. Which again, isn't natural, isn't wildlife, isn't ecosystem, all these themes we've been talking about, right? We've also got Bro here. Bro wants to learn about more ancient spells and comes up with a reason of recompense for healing Marcel, if that makes any sense. Something which they can give him in return for healing their friend. So yeah, let's go investigate this ancient script, and then I'll heal your companion, because as you can see, I can't rely on Namari. She only works as a meat shield. So then yeah, we see some elven characters with terrible penmanship on the walls here, right? Apparently the roots are in the way of reading it, so we must remove them. Which doesn't seem like a good reason to remove roots, but it's neither here nor there. And now we have Namari, the weapons expert. She's going to criticize Laios' sword for being creepy and unrealistic and some other weird shit. It's also got a fucking creature inside of it, but she doesn't know that. She wants him to go to the store and just get a regular one, which again flies in the face of the entire ethos of the series, up to and including criticizing Senshi's axe as well. You don't take care of your axe, which means you're a bad barbarian type guy. Just a couple more extra miscellaneous points because I wanted to add them. More on the Senshi resurrection, not liking that side stuff. Like, he seems like a very honorable character. If he was to die, he would want to just die. He doesn't want to rely on magic or any other cheats. He wants to play with the same rule set as everybody else. And everybody else includes all the inhabitants of the dungeon monsters and adventurers alike. To him, that is true freedom. That is true place in the world feeling type stuff. Which again locks with a lot of the theories and feelings and themes of the show, which is nice. You can even apply those same things to the scene we just saw then, with Namari explaining why Laios' sword is bad and why Senshi's axe is bad and that kind of thing. Her philosophy is just go to the store and get a new one. However, we're adopting a way more environmentalist, way more current day philosophy of reuse, reduce, recycle, right? We're the green team. We don't
We don't need a new sword that was produced by a guy that will have a finite thing until I buy a new sword again. I'm just going to scavenge and use another thing. Because again, every other inhabitant of the dungeon monsters included, don't have the unfair advantage of stores they can just go to and buy shit. So yeah, I like how everything feels philosophically consistent between a lot of different things. We definitely have a point to the show that the show is trying to get across, and certain people challenging that sometimes multiple times an episode. However, always uniting on the constants of humanity, the kind of feeling that we will one day die, as well as the need to eat food and gain sustenance to continue to live in the now. Yeah, there's something really poignant about this show. I just wanted to get that across. Also, yeah, in this scene, I just wanted to mention that there's a lot of Senshi build up backstory stuff where he seems like he was a bit of an outcast in his own society, wherever and whenever that was. Like, hey, I'm not like all the other dwarves and that kind of thing. I'm, didn't know much about blacksmithing and didn't care for my weapon and was more concerned with my adamant pot rather than anything else. I'm sure that there's some family connection there, which was probably tenuous based on that as well. So yeah, just bubbling in the background, much like a pot set to simmer. We've got a lot of stuff cooking. And yeah, can't wait to see where it goes. Now, Mari gets a kind of twinge of self-awareness here and says, I'm probably just annoying, right? And it's like, no, when it comes to handling weapons, I trust you more than anyone else. Which is, she gets all bit of tsundere about it. Ha ha ha. I think, she wants to play into this role of being the bad guy in the situation so she can walk away, brush her hands of the whole situation, and never think about it again. She's really playing up the picture of herself that Marcel has in her head. She's really playing into that, but of course is caught off guard whenever people are actually nice and that kind of thing, leading to a happy ending in the end, of course. However, then we have Laios's spidey senses tingling. Apparently there's some kind of monster coming. Creates another inconsistency. If you know a monster is coming and you don't know what it is, then how can you be certain there's a monster? To which he says, oh yeah, it's just a feeling. I do like this line from Namari as well. You should trust Laios when he gets like this, though. Like, he's normally serious. We're going to say that you're Kiki. Kiki is the one that walks in first, and then gets caught by the tentacles. Oh no. Now again, seeing anime and tentacles always gets me a little bit on edge. I don't really like to see that kind of stuff. At least, not voluntarily. So, they show restraint here again, much like episode 2. So obviously Kiki there was the only one that was carrying the bow, which is the only ranged weapon. We're 2 melee classes, we can't get to it. We suggest getting captured to try and, get up there, try to close the distance, close the gap. But hey, these kind of things paralyze you with their tentacles, so there's a good chance if we get caught, we don't make it out. Now, this is a pretty smart idea from Laios as well. He's going to volunteer himself to get captured because he's got the most armor on, right? The other two are a little bit more light armored classes, being barbarians, and we're going to ask for Senshi's helmet, which is the only piece of armor he really wears. I'm surprised that the show actually allowed him to take his helmet off. I thought that was going to be a big no-no. And look at bro here. He's a fucking Giga Chad. He's a Giga Chad. So yeah, get this guy, get his kit off, get his hair all washed up. He looks like a fucking model. He's amazing. Laios goes to walk into the danger and says that he's relying on you two on the ground. What did he mean by that? I don't know. Just, yeah, pretty cool interaction between these two. Like, Senshi just going with it, like he always does. He's just chill. Lets himself get kind of captured here, and then is going to focus on freeing the bow. As it turns out, that's the plan. He looks like fucking Jesus Christ. He looks crazy. So yeah, the plan is to cut the bow free, and then have one of us take the shot. And yeah, it turns out it was a good shot indeed, right into the midsection and frees the both of them. Laios being the hero, we take one look at his face and have this reaction, something that the audience will be clued into in a short time. We get a little bit of a hint of what's happening here by seeing Kiki's face, which is all red and kind of, what would you say, swollen, that's the word. In a similar way, we get Chilchuck's reaction to Laios' face that looks like this, which we use for comedy through the next 3 or 4 minutes. I think it's a funny face. I think he looks fucked up. The way he's talking is very funny as well. It reminds me a lot of the scene where he was singing. Just, yeah, Laios is pretty good from the comedy department. I think he's pretty funny. Similarly, showing off the effects of the tentacles, we have Senshi's fucking hand here, which of course he grabbed onto this when he jumped and grabbed the bow. Just, yeah, seeing the way his mouth like hardly moves in his eyes here as we're kind of trying to get rid of the tentacle here. Just really good stuff. So we're gonna pour vinegar on it, but it can have the opposite effects depending on species of tentacles, which is weird. Keep that in mind, I guess. And we've got to peel it like a fucking banana. Oh my god, tentacles with vinegar dressing. Apparently this thing tastes pretty good. You can see him just like kind of looking at it. It reminds me of fucking Yui in K-On! With the fucking crayon in K-On! Where she just like stares at it and then tries to eat the crayon. That's a good gif. I'll try to put that up on screen or something. Yeah, because of course, if Senshi has some dungeon food in his hand, he's just gonna eat it. Of course, you're shocked by that. This has become normal for Chilchuck. Just good stuff. Good comedy. I don't know about the rest of you, but my vibe, I'm never eating a banana out of somebody else's hand. That's crazy talk. That's craziness. Marcel's still delirious, and then we try to feed her some of the fucking tentacle banana. And she's like, it tastes sour. Oh no. Here's another important scene set up for Namari as a character. We're recommending her to take a bite of the dungeon food, which she is still heavily denying. She will come around by the very end of the episode into eating some dungeon food. Laios looks really disappointed that she didn't have a bite either. It's really tasty, with his fucking stupid face. Gnome Boy here plays good on his promise and starts to heal Marcel. I think he got the information he wanted in the end, even though that wasn't clear in the moment. So Marcel was up and awake, she thanks everybody, but it becomes awkward when she realizes that she has to thank Namari as well, considering the little argument they had before. Marcel, being Marcel, opts for a sarcastic apology in this moment. It'll come good by the very end of the episode, but yeah, she's funny here, just very petty. Thanks for giving us a hand. I'll set aside the incident with Farlan for now. You're most welcome. Getting paid makes you give it your best, more so than doing it for free. They're still very much at odds. I do like when they do art style changes with her as well. They're funny. Either way, the Undine is still kind of blocking the way. What did you do to anger it? I poured bathwater onto it, boiling bathwater. Good old fantasy racism coming through here too. That sounds like something an elf would do. We have, I'm guessing, a human? Maybe a dwarf? I don't know. A gnome and a dwarf all agreeing that elves are the problem, which is funny. Even the halfling a little bit. Is there any way to get past it? Well, it turns out that the kind of thing down there, the Undine, it's a collection of little spirits. So a lifespan of a spirit is only really a week at most, so we can wait it out if we had the time to do so. Which I guess that makes sense. It couldn't have been months because they need to catch up with the dragon before it literally digests their friend. So yeah, it makes sense that it's only been a week. As a result, these 5 decide that it's time to go back. We're just going to teleport back to camp. We'll come back down when the coast is clear, essentially, in about a week. And if they're preparing the return spell, these guys are going to self-sacrifice and say that, hey, Marcel, if you're low on magic, you should probably go back up to town as well. She's essentially anemic. That's the way we're explaining it at the moment. She doesn't have the same potency when it comes to her magic. She doesn't have the physical fighting and dodging skills of everybody else. She'd be somewhat of a liability, and we feel for her. She's our friend. We want to keep her safe. And the Marcel, who we've seen in the past be very, very scared of the dungeon and its creatures, as well as in the past in the flashback we saw in the previous episode, actively be really scared of the dungeon and its creatures, now actively wants to stay in the dungeon. Something has changed. Of course, part of it is wanting to save Farlan as well, but Farlan herself is also a representation, a symbol of the dungeon and its ecosystem and doing things the right way. She wants to stay in this to essentially save the dungeon and save her friend. We do a nice setup here with the magical aura and her magic in total being set up around her staff. There's little kind of sproutlings coming off of it, and if they're kind of limp, she's out of magic. We'll see them become nice and stiff and hard later on after she consumes a bit of that undine and the stew. This is amusing to Namari. She realizes this change in Marcel as well. I've never seen you have that face before, and it's amusing to see this difference in you, Marcel, right? But more to the point, what are you three going to do? You can't fight a dragon. That axe isn't going to cut no dragon. Namari, you've defeated many dragons, right? So, now I have to put my pride aside. If you've defeated dragons, I'm going to essentially beg you to help us, right? Rejoin our party, help Laos defeat the Red Dragon. I want to rescue Farlan no matter what. This is for Farlan. I'm desperate enough to put my pride aside, and Marcilla's a pretty prideful character, to save her friend, essentially, right? And then I don't really understand the justification here from Chilchuck. So, forget it, Marcel. The adventurer community is small. If they see that Namari has just rejoined another adventuring group the next week, that same one again, once she got her money, her reputation as a merc will only grow. Which I don't... Is there dishonor in being a merc in the literal merc adventurer community? I don't know, sure. Again, it seems like a really weird conflict, but we'll go with it, sure. I guess, yeah, they say she'll attract a different clientele. If she's a true merc, then evil people will start using her, that kind of thing. And yeah, uses this as a good enough excuse to brush away Marcel. However, Marcel is still hell-bent on not leaving the dungeon. There must be another way. To that end, she's going to get her magic back by consuming the undine, right? And this is the reaction of these two. How the fuck do you think you're going to do that? And again, it's the complete inverse, on purpose, right? It's purposeful in the writing. She's the one that's trying to convince the rest of the group to eat something, as opposed to the normal thing, right? Again, it's great progress. I love it. It fits in with the lore stuff we've set up. This thing is a collection of spirits. Spirits equal magic, especially from the little flashback we had with our friend Farlan before. And we're trying to figure out different ways to do it. Maybe a heated weapon, maybe an oil trap. Maybe if it attacks, I'll quickly drink it, and then it'll probably poke fucking holes in my body, creating a little rainbow out of that too, which is great. Oh, there's a great audio sting here as well. So out of ideas, she turns her head and looks at the pot, and there's a little like, oh, in the soundtrack. It's, that's the correct answer. We found it, right? Since she's pot, let's use that. We'll heat it up. Sounds perfect. And this shabby pot here is a family heirloom that's been passed down through generations, because the argument is that the undine will just shoot holes through it, right? However, we get a little bit of an eye from Namari here before she gets very, very interested, right? This thing is made of fucking adamant. Let's just call it fucking adamantium or something. This shit's crazy. It's like the best metal. As a weapon, it can shatter dragon bones, shield against dragon fangs, which may be a bit of a setup as well. And yeah, of course, being interested in weapons and blacksmiths and that kind of thing is absolutely horrified that you're using it for a cooking pot. Originally, it was a shield, but I had no use for it, so why not make it a pot? Now we have both the pot and the lid. We can capture the thing and burn it with fire. We can cook the dog. Oh, this is great too. So upon actually knowing what happens here, Namari considers that Laos may be too weak to hold it, right? Which is when she becomes concerned and interested. I forget your name. Gnome Boy here. He notices this and like almost preempts Namari's actions here. We can see her here twitching, really concerned, thinking Laos would be too weak to hold it. And yeah, she's right. It fucking knocks him to the floor. He needs to be stronger here. And yeah, we have Namari stepping up, holding the pot. I'm going to be the one to do this part of the process. Now, I was hoping we'd use the shape of the pot to do some reflect stuff. That would be a really cool action scene. But as it turns out, we're just kind of two tanks and we're going to run at this thing and close it up. Which I guess speaks to more of the plan, considering we need to cook the thing. So, it doesn't really help if we reflect blasts and that. I really like the amount of time we hold on this shot and the different kind of strikes of the pot we hear. It's really struggling in there, and the immense strength of these two is put to the test. But then, yeah, eventually it starts to slow up, and we have won. Of course, it's getting very hot in there as well, burning the two of their hands, which is nice. And yeah, reconciliation, forgiveness, nice stuff. You did a solid for us. You used your talent here to directly fuel me, which will help save Farlan. You're rectifying your mistake. And yeah, Marcel's crazy. She just grabs a mug and starts chugging. And hey, as it turns out, that's not the best way to consume it and get the most magical energy out of it. It's fundamental to pair nutrition with something that aids in absorption. So let's cook some food, baby, and we're going to use kind of the water in the broth as this water that we got from the Utena. So finally, we start dungeon cooking again. Very cool. Of course, I noted this during the reaction. The biggest change here is that this recipe is narrated by Marcille herself. She has superseded the role of Senshi in all of these. This is the most important creation to her in this moment, so she's the one that's narrating how to make it. Again, just a really neat editing trick that adds to the character, to the contrast, to the change that has occurred in Marcille and made her the character she is here today. Still kind of unsure, still kind of, eyebrows doing stuff, but she's better about it. She's trying new things. She wants to become or move more towards the Farland Senshi type mindset when it comes to the dungeon. And it's really tasty as a result. Seems like a good match. Either way, whilst Marcille was cooking, we have everybody else that went to investigate the tower again and got tentacled. And to bring the episode full circle, we have Marcille offering them a meal. Again, breaking the bread, bringing peace, putting aside differences for a moment, and just enjoying the universal need that is food. Even giving a bowl to Namari, even though she showed trepidation around dungeon food before, she's now going to try this. So we saw, I guess, the visual of the stew before looked beautiful, looked delicious, right? Oh, we also have this payoff where Marcille's staff now grows. Very stiff, very cool. Now, contrast, right? So we have this stew here versus the stew when we just saw, the image, right? This one, right? Looks delicious. Versus the way it looks almost through Namari's perspective. It doesn't look very appetizing yet, right? And I love this little change. This looks intimidating to eat, because it's intimidating for her to eat this at this moment, even though it looks tasty to me before. Just that change. It's a very, very good coloration choice. Ultimately, just really concerned about the party that she left and that they had to resort to this, but hey, bottoms up. Let's give it a go. Maybe seeing it as a form of punishment as well. She is kind of disappointed in herself that she made the decision that she did. And it's my punishment that now I have to eat dungeon food. But as it turns out, it's fucking tasty. And yeah, here's the color change. That's fantastic. It looks really appetizing now. It tastes really delicious and nutritious and stuff, because I gave it a go. I broadened my horizons. I did things outside of the book. And yeah, immediately Namari starts rescinding things. I apologize for making fun of your axe. Ooh, and a little bit of Senshi lore here too, right? It's true that I'm not a good blacksmith. I can't distinguish against different types of ore, probably something that's very important to dwarven culture and that kind of thing, right? I've always been criticized for it. My old friends got frustrated with me. Old friends? Please speak more on these old friends, Senshi. Just no hard feelings, essentially, based on what Namari said, because I'm not the kind of guy that cares about traditional dwarven stuff. And this is the interesting choice, I guess, narratively for Namari, right? So, Gnome Boy over here, he says that you're free to stay with these guys if you want to. We're going back to the surface. But then she's like, well, I want to be more than just a hired hand. I want to be more than a merc for you guys right here, right now. I want to get to know this party and enjoy this party and that kind of thing, right? Where I think it would make more sense for her to just join our party and have another character to play off of, but that's not what happens. She doesn't want to flip-flop. This is the party she's chosen, with Gnome Boy. Just, yeah, interesting. I didn't expect it. And yeah, hands him a plate. I want to be accepted as one of you. Much like the orc stuff, another kind of happy family eating a meal together, being brought together by the food. A few little tidbits before we finish here. Chilchuck, I thought that you would be the guy to leave immediately. I thought you were the most mercenary out of all of us, but, well, that's why I insist on getting paid up front. So I was paid up front, but now I feel the obligation to see these things through. And of course, he's sundarang all over the place here. Let me tell you something important. Folks who claim they don't need anything in return are the least trustworthy in this world. There's always some kind of recompense there. Yeah, interesting Chilchuck stuff. I'm warming to him as a character. And then we asked about Shuro, who's clearly the Japan guy based on all this. Jesus Christ. So he's seemingly gone and done his own thing, but he's so in love with Farland, so it's impossible to think that he would just abandon her. We're going to run into my good friend Shuro very soon, I'm sure of it. Laios is caught off guard by this revelation that he was in love with his sister, but that's just because he's oblivious to all things that aren't interesting to him in the moment, because it's Laios and he's kind of funny like that. And yeah, everyone's sundarang out. Now we have Namari doing it. Make sure you guys are okay. I know you guys care about Farland, but put your own safety first. And then you take care too. Finally, after these two have been at odds the entire time, a handshake, nice handshake to kind of end things out on. Yeah, a lot of hands joining stuff here, a lot of hand holding. It's basically Symphogear if you think about it. And yeah, that's the end of the episode, I guess. We're gonna wave them on, and we'll continue our journey with our party kind of separated like that. And now I'm most definitely out of time, so I'm not going to yap anymore, really. But those 2 episodes were really good again and really linked and kind of, again, pushing this overall ethos of the show. It just seems really good. I don't know what to tell you. Very well animated. All the things I've already said. I'm not going to reiterate everything, but really enjoyed my time here again today, like I basically always do. So yeah, I'll catch you guys again in the future for more Dungeon Meshi. I'm really liking 2 a week, so I may keep doing that. It's just a really good pace, and it's the kind of show that I want to keep watching. So yeah, Patreon. If you want the next episode, it should be up there on Patreon for your viewing pleasure. But yeah, other than that, other show stuff. Subscribe. I like getting subscribed to, so that would be good too. Twitter, Discord, all the normal stuff. All right, I'm going to say goodbye now. Thanks for watching. Catch you next week for more Dungeon Meshi. Ciao, cheerio, everything else.